Good you are, and welcome to NerdTube. We are talking Dark Side of the Ring today, guys. Season 3, episode 13. And today's episode is about Rob Black and the Extreme Obscene XPW, or the Extreme Obscene XPW and Rob Black. So this was one of the more, how do I say, craziest episodes regarding some of the stuff. I thought I was going to have actually a fun time, a fun episode. It seemed kind of enjoyable at first, but then there was a couple of horrific things that happened during the course of this episode, and I thought, holy shit, that's not fun at all. Snapping of the thumb, that really got me, man. That really fucking got me. But basically, we start off with an ambitious man who is a porn king, so to speak. His name is Rob Black. He does pornography, and he wants to do his version of ECW on the West Coast because ECW seems to be more of an East Coast thing, on New York and stuff like that. So XPW is his thing. He was actually initially trying to work with Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman kind of gives him the elbow once Paul Heyman's able to not need the services of Rob Black. So Rob Black then creates his own independent wrestling scene called XPW, and he basically tries to do what ECW is doing, but more extreme, so to speak. And he brings in lots of adult material, so to speak, with women in pornography and stuff like that. And also we have Cousin Cheetah with us as well. Hello, Cousin Cheetah.
Hey, sorry, I just walked in and sat down. Ooh.
No problem at all. So we're just saying about how bizarre this episode was. Rob Black, a man who had ambitions to mix the genres of pornography and wrestling, and his valets were all fucking porn stars. So when they were not sucking dick, they were bringing out wrestlers into the ring, and he almost had something, but like a lot of these guys, they are their own worst enemy, and Rob Black was his own worst enemy. He was a bullshit artist. He was possibly a potential somebody who wanted to murder somebody as well. Hey Dixie, welcome to the stream.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
I think later on in this episode, he did try to get the guy who plays Messiah assassinated. So he was trying to kill him, as well as possibly doing some sort of pedophilia type porn, which was his downfall at the end. But he had dreams of mixing the genres of pornography and wrestling, and he kind of did lots of extreme stuff. Didn't like his wrestlers covering their heads for chair shots and stuff like that. This guy was absolutely nuts. He's the worst sort of person you want to work for, and it kind of goes to show sometimes that in the wrestling industry, where you are relying on these people to take care of you because you're putting your body on the line. Yes, we are talking about that episode. These people can, these people you work for, these people you rely on, they can be your worst fucking enemy. And Rob Black was pretty much the worst enemy for some of the people who work for him. So where do you guys want to start with this? Because this is a crazy fucking episode. You know what, Dixie, as you just joined us, man, and you really do stuff with us. So let me ask you, Dixie, what do you think of this episode?
I think, I like the episode and everything like that, especially all the little behind the scenes and stuff like that. I wasn't really too into the whole extreme wrestling thing.
The death matches and shit.
Yeah, well, not only that, but they got some stupid, crazy stuff in there too. Also, NXT XPW is kind of like reminding me of these small little promotions like Juggalo Wrestling, stuff like that. You got like all these stupid extreme things. They're trying to compete with like back then WCW and WWF, which they have to do something stupid like light a table on fire or whatever. And it's a gimmick promotion basically.
You mentioned that table going on fire. Like they they don't understand precautions or anything.
No, they
I
don't.
mean, they just fucking tried to burn the table, didn't have probably the right equipment to do it, and so they used this lighter fluid, which ended up leaving a layer of fluid on the table, which ended up catching the fire of one of these larger wrestlers. I forgot his name, but his clothes ended up catching on fire. He ended up getting probably 2nd or 3rd degree burns from it. You can see his skin was peeling away, and it was
dumb.
It was a terrible thing. Cheetah, what do you think of this episode?
Okay, sorry. I mean, it was odd. Like, you figure, with the way back in the late 90s, early 2000s, the way that wrestling was going, you figure that pornography and pro wrestling would be a great match. Not so much.
They tried that in the 80s with Glow.
I remember. Well, was that pornography as well?
It wasn't pornography, but a lot of the wrestlers were very scantily clad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had the Attitude Era where we had similar things. You can tell actually where the Attitude Era maybe got some of their ideas from Rob Black, possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably. I mean, they were trying to hit up all the facets at that point. I mean, this was a hard watch, not for like the oh my god, I'm so sad type thing. This is more like a oh my god, I can't believe this happened type thing. I was sitting there the whole time going, how haven't I not heard about this till now? Like, I mean, obviously I heard of ECW and all that, but hoo-wee.
Well, because a lot of the stuff back then really wasn't covered in a lot of the magazines and things like that.
I did actually hear of XPW. I just didn't know anything of any of this extent. So, but yeah, Bossman, well, you love deathmatch wrestling. What do you think of this shit?
Well, I kind of knew who Rob Black was, and I kind of knew some of this stuff already, that he was a complete scumbag. This told me he was a more of a scumbag than I thought he was. So it was quite revelatory in that sense. Because again, he wasn't on this episode to defend himself, so I've got to give him that. He didn't have the chance to speak up for himself. But I always thought it was a scumbag.
Yeah, but hold on. He refused to comment as well. So he kind of didn't do himself any favors by refusing to comment.
I agree. By not coming on the show and defending himself, he basically made himself out to be more guilty, in my opinion.
And honestly, I felt like the video clips from him in the past that they showed were far more fair than he deserved, in my opinion. So,
yeah. So Zab already covered that the fact that most of the porn stars that work for him in his other line of work, his porn work, would be valets for example, it talks about the fact that he was dating at the time and went on to marry Lizzie Borden, who was a porn star, whose cinemastic exploits I'm glad to say I've never watched, I will never watch.
I'm a bit curious now. I might have a quick look after this.
Oh, you really don't want to watch it.
how do you know?
Yeah.
You just said you don't know, but then you're just like, oh, don't do it.
No, just the thing that you described just doesn't sound good. Anyway, but yeah, it was interesting to see how it started off with what you were talking about with it being tried to grow with ECW, but I think the thing is that XPW burnt out a lot quicker than ECW is, because ECW was around for about 8 odd years, nearly a decade, whereas this I think was only around for maybe about 3 or 4 years tops before the bottom comes out, and that was more because Rob Black is a complete and total idiot and didn't realize that he was basically baiting the US government into suing him. I didn't realize.
That came a lot later on, but
no,
he had people like the thing with a lot of these promotions, these indie promotions. They have a lot of people who are willing to die for them. They believe in they want to be part of a project which will eventually, hopefully, be the new rival to WWE. I mean, they all dream of that.
Even YouTubers have that dream.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, that never came to pass. It was never going to come to pass. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous what he was doing, and everything was. I mean, like hearing about these wrestlers not having health insurance and stuff like that. It always makes me wonder how people can do stuff like wrestling in America when
Because it's a passion. It is a passion for
Yeah, I
a
mean,
lot of people.
promoters will definitely prey on that passion.
Yep, exactly.
yeah. But if you don't have health insurance, if you don't have a public healthcare like the rest of the world, then aren't these guys not unable to have a career because they're always going to be injured or hurt or bleeding or possibly on death row or whatever? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't understand how it's possible for these guys to achieve such a career, in a country with no fucking public healthcare. But that's just for another matter.
America.
Yeah, pretty much.
So XPW, they let me try and remind myself what else they did in this particular episode. They tried to basically get back at Paul Heyman. Now this is totally a Rob Black thing. This kind of reminds me of that episode of Raw or SmackDown where Vince McMahon was pissed off at Stan Kroenke and he did his thing, his particular episode of Raw where he was going back at Stan Kroenke and all the heels were WWE guys and all the faces were WWE guys and all the heels were Stan Kroenke guys. That's how he made it. And it was kind of like this here in XPW versus ECW because ECW did a pay-per-view in the West Coast. They were not known for going that far, but they did one that particular year. And XPW guys decided to invade it. And when they did invade it, they got escorted by security guards and they got taken backstage, apparently where there's no sound and you can't hear jack shit. And the ECW guys and some of the heavies who work for ECW beat the shit out of the XPW guys.
No, they beat the shit out of the ring crew. They didn't touch
the ring crew.
wrestlers.
It wasn't even the wrestlers.
The ring crew.
Yeah.
Why would the ring
New Jack
why
hit him
would-
with a freaking crutch.
But I thought I heard that, but I never understood why the ring crew would be there. Wouldn't they want the wrestlers to be there?
They wanted the wrestlers and the ring crew to be there. They wanted as many people as possible to be at this event in the front row.
Yeah, so the wrestlers, I think it was, what was his name now? The guy whose uncle was Supreme. He got taken to, I think it was Chaos, I think. Got taken to a dark room and just basically left. Whereas the ring crew got taken to New Jack and everyone else, and they got the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely fucking crazy. But no surprise that Rob Black wasn't there, by the way, because he's your typical sort of leader coward. He likes other people to do all the dirty work and pretend that he's going to be alongside them. But when it comes to doing some of the more heavy lifting, he's nowhere to be fucking seen. He's probably too busy getting blowjobs from some of the people in this porn industry. But his career and his life with his wife is starting to take a turn for the worst, and she ends up having an affair with the Messiah. And this guy is like the face of the company. This young lad called the Messiah, and he ends up having an affair with her. And you could just tell he already knew from the beginning, the moment this kicked off, that it was going to go down. It cost him his fucking thumb. He had.
Yeah, but I don't think he knew it's going to go that far.
Yeah.
No doubt. But this is the crazy thing about like this industry. Like, what people are willing to do to each other at times. The real life issues. The real life things. It's kind of frightening. Like I said, working for people who you expect to look after you, end up trying to fucking kill you.
Right.
But he had an affair with this lady, and he knew it was going to cause him a lot of problems. And Sabu at the time, because a lot of as they were calling XPW the home of the ECW rejects, and Sabu at the time he said that he had no problem. He understood where Rob Black was coming from because you have an affair behind my back, I have a problem with you. You have it on camera, I have no problem with you because he's a porn guy. But he had the issue with him because of that. But prior to that, let me just remind everyone that XPW was getting certain stars in there. We saw Shane Douglas, only one clip of Shane Douglas. It's not like we saw him throughout. I saw one clip of fucking Terry Funk, a few clips of Sabu.
Sabu was actually on, there though, doing an interview though.
Yeah, and the guy we saw the most was New Jack. You know, I think this must be like
That's 'cause
one of
New Jack
his
likes to
last.
be heard.
Yeah, it must be one of his last appearances before he passed away.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, what did he pass away from? If you don't mind me
I
asking.
think he had a heart attack.
Okay.
So people think he was like the amount of coke he started and
all the drugs.
drugs.
Yeah, that guy was a walking fucking, you know.
But the thing was the defendant thing.
Test.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that like I think in the last couple of years he'd sorted himself out. Like he got married, he'd had a kid, and everything seems to be going good for him. And then all of a sudden he just drops dead of a heart attack.
It always is the way, though, isn't it? Just when you fucking turn your for wrestlers, you turn your fucking life around, you fucking die of a heart attack. Maybe it's best if fucking Scott Hall does have a relapse. Maybe it'll last fucking longer. You know what I mean? But the only person who's kind of broken that rule is Jake Roberts.
Also, Sting has broken that as well, I think.
Sting has had a very long. He's a bit like he's Hulk Hogan status, man.
Yeah.
You know, like he's had a long, illustrious career. You know, he's legend. You know, beyond legendary is Sting. So, you know, he hasn't had like a part of his career which is really shitty. Like he will always he'll always be money in the bank for whatever he does in whatever industry he's in. You know, so regarding Sting, but yeah, I just want to go back to some of the things Rob Black put his wrestlers through. Like there's one particular guy who we saw on the Canyon episode, something Hawks.
Luke Hawks.
Yeah, Luke Hawks. He covered his head for a chair shot, and that really pissed off Rob Black because apparently ECW guys don't do that. So he set this guy up. I mean, this is unbelievable what happened. And I'm pissed off with two things. I'm pissed off that he did this, and I'm pissed off with the wrestler who let this happen. You know, by whacking Luke Hawks in the head. He chained Luke Hawks up, and then this other wrestler, the uncle guy, Uncle Fester, I'm going to call him.
Supreme.
Yeah, Supreme fucking, pepperoni. He started wailing on this guy right on his head. You know, it was unbelievable. Like the second shot was so hard, it fucking broke the chain. His hand was on.
Yeah, that was. I saw that. I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that was nasty.
I had some real like wow moments in this. You know, there was some like holy fucking shit moments in this. But yeah, I mean, like this is somebody you can't. This is a promoter you can't trust.
No,
you can't. You can't trust him at all. And going on to New Jack, he's fighting Big Grimes. Now, this is one of the most synonymous things regarding XPW. They had some bizarre sort of, table match on top of a fucking scaffolding. It was absolutely crazy. This is the first time I've really seen more depth into this. New Jack is an absolute nutcase. He's tried to kill people before in the wrestling ring. Can't be trusted. I remember that fat kid. He must have been 16 years old.
Nashville, is it?
No, this was just a child. This was just some kid in some fucking shopping mall fucking wrestling match he was having.
Oh, okay.
And this kid was really fucking fat, and I think New Jack had tried to kill this kid pretty much, but he's tried to kill other people before. I remember on his Dark Side episode. He stabbed this one guy, which is unbelievable. They're going up for a lockup, and he stabs the fucker. But this guy, Big Grimes, he had an issue with him. I'm not sure exactly what. Maybe you guys can enlighten me.
I have no idea.
If I'm not mistaken, Vic Grimes, like what happened was New Jack's opponent was a no-show or something of that nature, and Vic Grimes. Yeah, he was. His dad vouched for him that he was 18 and also a wrestler, trained with Killer Claw.
No. You're thinking of the mass transit incident.
Oh, okay, I might be then. Yeah.
What happened with Vic Grimes was that they were having a match in ECW, and Vic Grimes tossed New Jack off like a very because he used to fighting about New Jack in the ECW at least. Used to fight in the balconies, and what happened is that Vic Grimes threw New Jack's off, and New Jack, being an idiot, didn't fall correctly and nearly broke his neck. And he blamed Vic Greg for it, not himself for being a complete idiot. So he broke his neck. So basically, so that's why the reason why he went to Rob back saying, "It doesn't matter. You can flip a coin all you want. I'm going to throw this guy off the balcony for nearly breaking my neck."
Yeah, so he wanted revenge.
So that's what he did. That's the reason he hit him with the taser, because he wanted to throw him off and literally kill him. That's why Vic Grimes was very lucky that he landed on the tables the way he did. Otherwise, he would have been a splat on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, one thing with New Jack is that he consistently held a grudge, and his grudges were so dangerous that people could get killed for it. And he did try to kill Grimes when he threw him off the scaffolding, and it's synonymous. This is one of the most famous things in indie wrestling. You know, like, he didn't fall the way he was supposed to fall, and he could have slid. You know, the way the tables were, and his body was sliding on it. I mean, he could have penetrated his body through a tape, you know, for a bracket or something like that. That's a possibility. And then he could have slid out the ring and then had a bigger fall than what he did, and probably broken some bones, or we would have had another Owen Hart incident. But luckily for him, he kind of like the ropes kind of like, you know, broke his fall to a degree, and he ended up not getting. I mean, he got seriously injured, you know, but he ended up not getting as injured as he possibly was going to get. But you know, that was New Jack in a nutshell. He then says that Rob Black loved what he did, paid him, even gave him a bonus, and New Jack fucked off, you know, and did his own thing after that, which is typical New Jack. You know, when I heard that he died, I'm not saying I was happy, but like, I wasn't sad. You know, he's a fucking cunt. He really is. He's a fucking cunt, and nothing lost regarding New Jack. The guy was high all the fucking time. You know, like, people you saw in TNA, like, how serious they took wrestlers on drugs. You know, when Jeff Hardy was fucking high, you know, Sting wanted nothing to do with him. You know, and WWE, they're constantly fucking, you know, putting people on wellness policies if they fucking get too high and shit like that. But not New Jack. He would wrestle high, and you can see why he was such a liability. So him passing, I don't give a fuck. Probably best thing to fucking happen to New Jack. But you know, all of that regarding Grimes, I'm talking so much. Dixie, what do you want to say about that?
About the Grimes incident?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm glad that New Jack's dead. I will say that I'm going to shrug about that, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, I can't really add too much more than what you've added already. So,
Cheeto, you're on mute.
Cheeto, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Oh, I know. Okay, sorry.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know. I mean, New Jack. Yeah, no. I 100% agree about New Jack. I mean, there is no other word besides cunt that I can think of that comes to mind when I think of New Jack. Like, is it sad that he died? Yes. I don't want anyone to die. Well, except for pedophiles and rapists. But, you know. But I mean, like, yeah. But was he a proper? And I say this in the British slang, a proper asshole. Yes, he was. He was, you know, just beyond belief. Every time he starts talking, it's almost like, dude, just shut up. Like, we you know, so yeah, I don't know about that.
I never wanted him to die, but once I found that he did die, I didn't mourn his death. I was almost happy that he was gone, you know, because this guy's a fucking liability, and he has tried to kill people himself. So he's an attempted murderer, you know. So anyway, Bossman, what you got to say?
I think two things. I think that, like, you know, he was his own worst enemy, especially here. But I like the fact that he turned it around at the end. You know, that he got a wife. I think they had a kid not long before he passed away. So yeah, I'm glad for that he could find happiness and contentment somewhere in his life. But again, through this interview, he did not come across well. Because he was like saying, "Oh, I want to kill this guy. I want to do this." And it's like, dude, you're responsible for that guy's safety. Because when you're in the wrestling ring, you're the guy by accident hurt you. But again, it was part of your fault. You should have fallen differently than you did. You just fell again like this is why you're a complete idiot. Anyway,
No, I agree. But they had a lot of bizarre people in there. But going back to the Messiah, and what's her name? The girl with the blonde girl with the big tits.
Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden.
Izzy, yeah.
Lizzie Borden. Okay. Yeah, she named herself after a female serial killer.
Nice.
Okay, but like if somebody wants, sorry, I just need to type something. If somebody just wants to mention what happens with those two henchmen who tried to fucking attack him.
So basically, what happens is two guys come into his apartment. He thinks that they're for his roommate because I think he said that his roommate like ran a business like near out of his house. Said that they just wait for him and said, "All right, evening chaps," and they come over and then they start wailing on him, and then like one of them gets like one of those garden shear things and cuts off his thumb. And the thing is that I was looking at his hands to see if he could still see it when he started to mention it. To see, because after that I was like looking at his hands to see if I could still see the seventh thumb. I didn't see it, to be honest with you, but the guy gesticulated too much. But yeah, that was messed up. And then like people think they get like I think it appeared on like some like American crime show like Dateline or something like that. I think
America's Most Wanted. I think
America's Most Wanted.
America's what? I mean, yeah. So talking about like how somebody cut his thumb off and they were looking for it, and it was these two guys. Now again, Rob Black had something to do with that. I don't care what anyone else says. Rob Black, basically had somebody maybe do that to him. No one can tell me different. I'm sorry. Like most times I'll be up for. Well, there was an alternative explanation that makes like no, it was Rob Black.
So you think Rob Black?
Yeah, I mean, he probably went over to that. He said he went over. The one wrestler said that he came over.
Evening Facebook user.
Kind of sat on his couch, and sat on his couch and was just like, and he just sat there, and he's just like, and the wrestler's like, I don't remember his name, but he's like, what are you doing here? I bet you he's establishing an alibi. Like if he. Like, where were you when this was going on? Oh, I was over at my employee's house smoking a blunt on his couch. Like that's exactly what I feel like was going on there. I'm like, oh, he's just establishing an alibi at this point.
The fact that they chopped off Messiah's thumb was unbelievable. I didn't see that coming at all. They like what? Oh, man, I'm blown away, and it's all over a woman as well. Like it's ridiculous. Here's a guy who's fucking everything on two legs. Some of the most beautiful women in the world, because he's in the porn industry, and then he's upset that his lady is fucking somebody else. Well, that's all he ever does.
Yeah, but it was because he was outside of the front camera. Because basically, the way that he hooked up is that she was getting jealous that he kept on getting blowjobs from different women while he was in his office. And but so she basically used Messiah as comfort, and he now was like going, oof, I hooked up with her, and it's like it's something that shouldn't have happened, blah blah blah. It's like but a beautiful woman comes onto you, especially a beautiful porn star. What are you gonna say?
No.
I'm surprised I never found his thumb. He's still thumbless to this day. Yeah, he hasn't got a bionic thumb.
Well, they probably found it, but I mean,
yeah, too much time.
I don't know. I was looking at his hands. I couldn't really tell. To be honest.
No, it was still gone.
It was plain as day.
But I mean, what happens is that if there's enough blood loss and you don't refrigerate the appendage quick enough, there's no saving it. Like it's
you get
eventually too dead to recover.
Amputated.
I give him credit for putting one of those fucking henchmen in a fucking armbar. You know, and you know, fighting
he
it
probably broke his shoulder.
And fighting is something you have to be very fit at, and you can tell by these guys were like literally heavies. You know what I mean, in every sense of the fucking word. So yeah, they did gas out. You know, the Messiah is, you know, even he's a professional performer, so having endurance is something he's all about. But nevertheless, he's in a real fight now. He lost his fucking thumb. He's got fucking blood coming out of him left, you know, because of that, and he's able to get this guy in the fucking armbar. You know, I wouldn't have fucking let go. You know, I would have fucking taken his arm. You took my thumb, I'll take your fucking arm, mate. You know, I would have ripped that skin off his fucking shoulder. But yeah, you know,
how many attackers were there? I thought there were like two, not just one. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Two. But at that stage, you know, like, you know, you know, if you think,
I'd be trying to pick something up and just like whap them with it.
Look at this comment. It sounds like he succumbed to the rule of thumb. Who comes around, thumbs around. Is that Rick?
Very good.
You're on mute. You're on mute, by the way. Okay, so I've got some information here.
Chris Ham is the person. Who
Chris Ham. Okay.
That just sounds like a troll name.
No, it's his name. He's a mate of mine.
Okay, cool.
So then he really sounds like a troll.
He's from up north. But anyway,
no, we won't hold that against him.
Now the downfall of XPW was Rob Black just had to fucking take things to the extreme. The problem with these fucking companies, the problem with these fucking promoters, is they always try to up themselves in every sense of the word. So he's now like, I don't think he was actually doing pedophile porn, but he was basically making his porn stars pretend to be young girls. Like he had this one
doing like lolly shit.
Yeah, like he was saying, he was basically like making these girls say, "Fuck my 13-year-old ass" and shit like that, you know. And it fucked up, you know. It really fucked up. But in the country of the First Amendment, I'm surprised that they weren't able to get away with that if the person they're fucking isn't actually 13. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, I just want to read something here, a little extract here. Rob Black was prosecuted for porn and sorry, I've bloody lost I've lost the fucking thing. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Rob Black was prosecuted for porn and specific acts of rape. Had actual beatings and torture. So, yeah, in his videos, they were like snuff porn movies, you know. And there was at least one movie in the prosecution's case where although the actress was over 18, she was pretending to be 13 years old in the movie. He did 1 year and 1 day in jail as part of the plea deal, where the prosecution wouldn't look into how much he had made from the pornography, which could have landed him in a longer jail sentence if they had gone to trial over the obscenity case. So by basically pretending that he was doing, you know, underage kids, he got jail for that. You know, personally, how I look at it is that why the fuck are you doing this, Rob? You know, why are you appealing to fucking people who like this sort of shit? What the fuck's wrong with you, you fucking idiot? You know, even if you weren't banging children, you were pretending to. Who the fuck does shit like this? You know,
assholes like him.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And you know what? You get what you deserve, mate. You know, no civilized society should accept this. You know, not by saying, "Oh, look," you know, I take back some of what I said earlier. You know, regarding like, you know, the First Amendment, all that bollocks. You know, you shouldn't be fucking accepting this. You know, the guy is fucking promoting, you know, kiddie porn, you know, or pretend kiddie porn. You know, he's a despicable fucking human being. And then you look at what he's done during the course of this episode, he deserves everything he fucking gets.
Yeah, but the thing is, Sam, is that the thing is that, like, you know, you can pretend to whatever else you want in porn, but you can't pretend to do that. And that's the thing, is that the US laws were very strict, and they still are, about that sort of thing.
Especially when you're fucking raping people in porn videos and you're fucking torturing them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I
The whole-
agree.
it's all about consent. There's no consent.
The thing
in
is,
that.
the thing is with Rob Black, what he wanted was more attention and more fame. And the thing is, because he was hiding off his own farts, so to say, and what he ended up doing was killing the company.
Well, the thing is, also, let me interject about the whole getting high off his own farts. Yeah, I do agree with that, but I think he was not looking for fame. I think he was looking for notoriety. Because if you can't be famous, why not be infamous?
Well, this is the wrong sort of infamous. It's a bit like that guy, who killed his transsexual lover. Like this one guy was having an affair with this transsexual girl. She wanted to make it public, and he didn't want people to know about it, so he killed her. And by doing so, he ended up making everyone fucking knew about it, not just his community, the whole fucking world. Yeah, because he fucking killed this woman. Yeah. So what Rob Black is doing is that he's making himself famous for the wrong things. You know what I mean? You don't want to make yourself famous for fucking, doing fucking a variation of kiddie porn. What the fuck, man? It's just
Yeah, there's some things I just don't want to be synonymous with.
Yeah.
And, yeah, kitty porn is not one
Yeah,
of them.
that's one of them. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but that's not how Rob Black thinks.
yeah.
Rob Black is pretty much fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
No.
I'm in this defensive posture right now, but I just the thought of it just gets me, heebie-jeebies, man.
All right, let me clarify. This is Rob Black from 2000. This is not Rob Black of 2021.
I don't know if he can redeem himself from what he's done. What he's done in the last during the course of this episode, what we saw, making a man lose a fucking farm, and getting.
I mean, to play
Whacked over
devil's
the head.
advocate, they didn't prove that it was him. We know it was, but they didn't prove it was him. So we have to at least be fair and say allegedly he did it.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah,
he
you gotta
did
throw that allegedly in there.
I'm not worried about getting sued anytime, but
defamation.
but this is one reason why Rob Black wasn't on this episode, because if he was on this episode, he would have probably fucking dug himself a hole. He knows that certain things would be asked and stuff like that, and next thing you know, he'll be leaking shit out, and he'll be fucking Tommy Dreamer Part 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
What was he going to be cancelled from? His little flaming burger, flaming takeout place that he has in Midwest America.
Himself for certain things that's happened in the past. He can incriminate himself, and then he could end up getting longer jail terms. I mean, the burger thing is probably the best thing to fucking happen to him. But someone like Rob Black, the last thing you need to do now, he might have wanted to be famous then. Now I guarantee you he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it at all, man. I mean, especially if he's got children and a wife and all that bollocks.
Yeah.
He's living the fucking mundane life.
On your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he actually have a family and life now? I missed that at the end then.
And that's what was
rumored. He got married. He got divorced from Lizzie Borden around like 2009-ish. He remarried somebody else and now has 2 children with her.
Oh, well, congrats to her.
Everyone
looked like Sunny back then as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
was
can I just
proto diva.
Can I just say that the porn star who was talking, God, my God, was she gorgeous?
Yeah.
You know.
What, the tattooed one?
Yeah, the one with the sunglasses. She was pretty hot.
I'll be honest with you, I probably would, but I didn't think. I think she looked better when she was younger, personally. And I do like tattoos on women. I really do, but I think she overdid it personally. I didn't think it looked that good.
I'm not anyway tattoos as a person.
I love tattoos.
I don't.
I love them, man. Okay, so so that was the episode of Rob Black. He has now become a bit of an enigma. Nobody knows really what he's up to other than having a cheeseburger restaurant. No up to date pictures of him as well. He isn't dead, which is a nice change, I guess, considering so many people we talk about who are like the main focus of a particular episode are dead. But he isn't. He just wasn't have the ball to fucking defend himself or defend his actions.
Well, because he knew he didn't have any defense. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, at the very least, and I don't know if it would have been damning or not, but I mean, at the very least, even if he learned his lesson, I mean, the best he could have done is come on and said, "Look, I know I screwed up. I screwed up big time. I paid for my mistakes. I'm a dirtbag. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I'm just looking to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That
really
would
the
be
best you
ideal.
can do.
Sometimes the best defense is no defense at all. Just let it fade away. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. But that was fascinating as well. This was the season of deathmatch wrestling. We had 3 very, very interesting episodes. One was about Nick Gage, focused on him mainly, and people like John Moxley came from that fucking episode. And then we had
I think-
Onita. Onita was my favorite episode of the 3. And then this was
I think what XPW was worse because the thing is that they kept it up in the ante, and if they kept it up in the ante, someone was going to get killed.
Well,
Yeah,
they always
I'm
they
surprised
up
nobody
the ante. They up the ante in all 3 of those episodes, dude. Because the thing is, with deathmatch wrestling, you have to always take it to the next level. And I noticed in all 3 of those episodes, Anita would bring it up how they have to take it to the next level. Remember, they fucking set the ring on fire, and they were fucking burning on the inside, and Sabu's uncle fucking gets caught in the middle of it, and he had like 3rd-degree burns and shit.
It wasn't Sabu's uncle.
Yeah, it was.
No,
It was the Sheikh, Sabu's uncle.
Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that too. I thought it was the younger guys.
No.
No, I'm talking the Anita episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought we were still talking about this episode.
No, but even with Nick Gage, they always tried to up the ante and stuff like that, and they had like multiple. They had like a whole ring was fucking. The ring ropes were covered in fucking
lighter fluid or whatever.
no tubes. Those light bulb tubes.
Yeah, the fluorescent.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff is
Yeah, that
dangerous.
stupid
Like,
shit.
I can't believe people survived. I can't believe nobody died. I'm sure, like, obviously there's lasting effects, but
just so you know, Facebook user Chris. Last time I checked, there were 2 up, but I'm very happy to see that they're 3 up. Yes, that's good to know. Ooh, soccer. Yes,
soccer.
soccer. But yeah, this was I like I said, I was expecting it. I thought to myself, finally, we're gonna get a fun episode, and then obviously we have like attempted murder and the chopping off of appendages and possible child prostitution and shit like that and
It's not called light side of the ring.
Yeah.
Or bright side of the ring, like you, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just bright side Zam today. I'm trying to put a smile on everyone's faces after the sort of day we've had today.
Oh,
So but I'm actually happy this episode's over because for me, next week is the main event. I cannot wait for next week's episode. I am gagging. Maybe it's the Vince McMahon steroid trial. Remember the?
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to hear Vince McMahon's comments.
No, we're not going to hear shit from him. But
I know.
He's not going to say anything.
this was the early '90s as well, so I'm thinking of what wrestlers would be around because this was before. I'm talking. Yeah, I'm talking about who would be interviewed in this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hulk Hogan's
Hulk Hogan's not going to be interviewed.
Nope.
No, Hulk Hogan ain't going to be on there.
No, he relies on WWE.
I mean, Jericho probably. He was young back then, but he was.
But Jericho wasn't part of that thing, though, was he?
He wasn't, but
then.
I mean, he might have been young and in the locker room, but I'm not. I mean, I don't think he was involved.
We're talking almost 30 years ago. It was like 1993, I believe this happened.
Yep.
Yeah, Jericho was in New Japan, I think, at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think no, I think he started like '94 in like
ECW.
Working for Cornette, I think.
I think we might. Yeah, Scott Hall's been on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, he'll probably be on.
Okay, so Jerry McDevitt, who is Vince McMahon's lawyer, is the main interview next week. Wow, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a get. That's a hell of a get.
Now,
that's why it's the main event, baby.
Yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to this. I really want some serious dirt digged up, but there has been lots of dirt digged up regarding Vince McMahon, all types of things, like how he was the person who kind of not when I say orchestrated Owen Hart's death. I don't mean he tried to get him killed, but his nonchalant attitude and Owen Hart's safety got him killed.
Yeah,
he was the one who possibly stopped Jimmy Snuka from going to jail for murder. By bribing people. I mean, Vince McMahon has got
Oh,
has
he's
got
got
some
shit all over him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of shit on him, and this is going to be one of the major things. Because I really want an episode focused on him, because Vince McMahon in itself is a dark side episode, and this steroid trial, this steroid trial, is definitely going to be a lot of focus on Vince McMahon. I still remember, him wearing that fucking collar around his neck.
Yep.
And back then when I was young, I was thinking to myself, why is this commentator getting so much focus on him? He's just a fucking commentator, But back then I didn't know. I didn't know he was the owner of the fucking business.
Yep.
So I can't wait for that episode. What
I
a
already
great
got
way
the thumbnail picked out.
Oh, the Vince McMahon with the neck brace.
Yeah, and he has a smile on his face.
I think he was almost like playing a gimmick. Just before we.
Oh, he was. Of course, he was.
It's like
the ultimate corporate bad guy.
No, but no, in the sense that look at me, I'm hurt. Pity me. My neck's in a brace. You know what I mean? It's a bit like Harvey Weinstein. Once his power could no longer cover up all the hideous things he did, and when he was going to court and stuff, he saw him on the Zimmer frame and shit. You know what I mean? Probably his ass got fucked plenty of times while he was waiting for bail. You know what I mean? I don't know. But
no. They put his ass in protective custody. People with money don't get put in general pop.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, he went through like I said, he was basically trying to act his way out of getting any jail time by trying to get onto the sympathies of the general public by looking like a vulnerable man. I'm sure when Vince McMahon was walking around with his neck brace, he was trying to do something very similar. Maybe his neck was genuinely hurt, but nevertheless, I can't wait for fucking next week. It's going to be a fascinating episode. An episode like that, it should be a two-parter, because I'm sure there's lots of red tape and lots of interesting facts. Do any of you guys know anything about the steroid trial before we wrap this up?
It was before my time. So, I mean, I came in at like 95, 96. So it was like after, like, once Hogan came to WCW and everything.
I remember it. Because again, I remember that because he was actually covered in UK newspapers like The Sun and stuff like that. It was actually pretty major news that this was happening. I'm trying to remember who was it now. Who was like a big thing about it. Like he was like, it was. As I said, I just remember it was a total utter cluster mess. I wasn't saying the other word, but it was an absolute ridiculous amount of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
By the way, Vince McMahon was that far from going to jail. Just so you know.
He was a gnat's ass away from it.
It always seems like the WWE at different periods are this close from fucking going under for whatever reason. Like, Vince McMahon going to jail over the steroid trial, or WCW maybe taking them over in the ratings. They always seem to be this fucking close. But somehow he pulls a fucking rabbit out of the hat. And,
that's why I'm interested to see what he does now, because like with everything that's going on now, I might say, how's he going to pull a rabbit out of his hat with this one? Because again, I know people will say, oh, we've got more money they can do is that money's going to start running out pretty soon.
It's not just that as well. Like Vince McMahon, when he was younger, he was a bit more in the game. He's a fossil now. I mean, I'm not sure if he can still understand how things work and operate. Maybe things could be a little bit more devious nowadays. But we live in a more digital society now, where everything's recorded. Everything. Can you get away? People have got cameras everywhere. Everything could be recorded. Can he get away with the sort of shit he might have got away with back then today? When it comes to maybe doing something devious to AEW, for example, I don't think so. And it's going to be interesting to see how he's an analog man in the digital world. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets around all of this shit. Regarding AEW, but I don't think he's too concerned. I mean, his ego is taking a battering, but his wallet isn't. If you know what I mean. This guy's got fucking crown jewel, for fuck's sake. He's made like billions from that alone, But I can't wait. I really hope whatever happens next week has a detrimental effect on Vince. Yeah, bless you. I really hope
Okay.
what we see next week has a detrimental effect of Vince McMahon. I want this fucking guy to go down for something. I hate him. I fucking hate him. You know what I mean? So I really do. I can't stand Vince McMahon. He's
He's 73.
He's 76, I think. Yeah, but he's a control freak. He's a control freak, and he's a guy who has done terrible things, and he's a guy who doesn't like to listen to his audience. And I hate fucking promoters like that. I hate people like him. Listen to your fucking audience, you cunt. But yeah, fuck him. You know, he's a friend. You know, his allegiances with Donald Trump and shit like that. Fuck this guy. I fucking hate him. You know what I mean? The amount of wrestlers that fucking died under his fucking, you know, under his fucking rule, you know, ridiculous. He works people to death. You see the difference with AEW, how happy wrestlers are. They're not fucking worked to death. Whilst if you're in WWE, you don't even know what a day off is. You're ashamed. They shame you for wanting time off. You know what I mean? So fuck them. Fuck him. Yeah. Anyway, I apologize for my rant.
Yeah,
All right,
What do you
so-
say? Wow, I
It's all right.
didn't realize you're on the steroid trials already.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I can't wait.
A
I
preview for next week.
genuinely can't wait for next week. Maybe my hype for it won't live up to what the episode will be, but regardless, I'm very much looking forward to a lot of dirt being fucking.
Oh no, I think your hype's gonna match the episode.
But why would his lawyer? Just sorry, before we wrap this up, why would his lawyer do something like this? Is his fucking lawyer, or was his lawyer? Why would somebody? Why would somebody in that profession give up so much dirt? You know, it's not like fucking Vice are paying him millions and trillions. You know, why would he do this? Is
Maybe
it
there's stuff that we
conscience?
don't.
Did
Yeah.
the check bounce?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with Vince. So, but anyways.
I imagine that is his conscience, and he wants to like just file and say no dirt. I mean, as I said, I won't be here next week, but I imagine you guys will have fun with whatever comes up because I imagine it's going to be
This week.
juicy.
Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. Fucking talking about shame. My fucking bird just done this shit right in front of me. So let me just wipe that off. You naughty little bird. But yes. All right. Well, McDevitt is still Vince's lawyer apparently.
Huh.
And he's on this
So what the
show.
fuck? Yeah, I was going to say. I thought he got fired or like retired or whatever.
This makes no sense. I don't understand how somebody can. It may be. Is he?
I think he must have gone to Vince and gone, "Hey Vince, I want to do this." That's fine.
Oh, unless
Are you sure?
what's concerning me now is that unless this is somehow an episode that maybe puts Vince in good light.
Yeah,
Not
that
bad,
might
like-
be it too.
You know,
Yeah, but you
maybe.
figure Dark Side wouldn't do that. Like if Dark Side's always
Mm.
it's
Well,
called
no, but-
Dark Side of
No,
the
I
Ring.
agree, but maybe the dark side is on the opposite end, and maybe they might make Vince McMahon look like a victim, in this, and not the culprit.
We'll
You
just
know?
have to see the episode just to find out anyway.
Interesting. This is so bizarre. Anyways, all right then, fellas, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Okay, cousin Cheetos, thank you very much. Gary, thank you, and Dixie, thank you very much. We are NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you never fucking heard of. We will see you guys later, and keep an eye out on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to us. We got shit coming out all the fucking time. All right, take care, everyone. See you guys later. Live long and prosper, you
Later.
fucking bitches.
Right.